Caffeine is something that many people use on a daily basis. It is a substance that is put into the body and affects the body in multiple different ways. Many Americans consume caffeine on a daily basis, and some people may not even know that they consume caffeine. According to the Harvard Public Health Services, 85% of Americans consume caffeine on a daily basis. With that being said, there are numerous different things that contain caffeine. First of all, there's soda, tea, coffee, and even chocolate. Chocolate is one of the more uncommonly known sources of caffeine because there's very small amounts, but it does have caffeine in it, so there are people that probably consume caffeine through chocolate and they don't even know that they are consuming caffeine. And it is also widely known that caffeine is a source of energy for many people. So, what is it that gives it the effect of giving energy? Well, caffeine is a stimulant to the brain and the nervous system. So, people will consume the caffeine and it will raise your heart rate. So, once your heart rate raises, mentally, since your brain is moving more along with your heart rate, you're instantly going to be more alert and up and moving around doing more things. But besides increased heart rate, there are many other effects of caffeine on the body. Some could be seen as good, some could be seen as bad. There are many that can be bad, such as it can increase risk of anxiety and irritability. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm irritable before I have my caffeine, I need to drink my morning coffee. Well, that might not actually be the case. It could actually be what is causing you to be more irritable rather than helping your irritability. And besides irritability, it also can cause sleeplessness. So yes, people will consume caffeine early in the morning before they go to work or throughout the day. Well, since it increases your heart rate, if you drink coffee too late before bed, since your heart rate is up, it is going to cause you to have issues falling asleep because your heart rate is high, so your body is not calming itself down. And if you have a low amount of caffeine consumption, it more than likely is not going to have as high of an effect on you. But if you have, say you're drinking multiple cups of coffee throughout the day and you have one 6, 7 o'clock at night at dinner time with your dinner, you're more than likely going to have a harder time falling asleep because of that caffeine consumption, because it can take a while for your heart rate to finally slow down after you have consumed that caffeine. And also, caffeine, the different levels will affect you differently. Also, it'll affect different people at a different quickness. So a lot of people can see effects of caffeine starting in their bodies anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, or even longer than that. It just depends. It also depends on the amount of consumption. So, and that is according to the Better Health channel, because they stated that the average is 5 to 30 minutes for the caffeine to actually start kicking in and affecting your body. And caffeine, if it's consumed in super high amounts, it will push into the body faster and it will have a more negative effect on your body. So when you think about it, you can compare caffeine to medicine. If you take a low dose of medicine for a headache, you, or more than likely, it's going to take longer for your headache to go away. Well, if you consume double the amount, it might go away quicker, or you could have a negative effect and it could make you actually feel worse than what you would have thought it would. So, for instance, how much do you think is too much? So, the daily recommended amount for general people, obviously it is different depending on your body size and everything like that, but the general daily recommended amount of caffeine is 400 milligrams. So if you put that into perspective, your average, say, 12-ounce can of soda might have anywhere from 50 to 60 milligrams of caffeine. Well, soda is not the only thing with caffeine, so a lot of people go towards energy drinks. So this one, for instance, is a NOS Turbo. You'd think, oh, it's the diet version. Diet does not mean that it has less caffeine, it means it has less sugar. So in putting it in perspective, this can is 16 fluid ounces, and it has 300 milligrams of caffeine in it. So you take this one can, if you drink it with, say, your meal at lunch, you're consuming 75% of your daily consumption, like what is recommended for you already. So with that being said, one drink is almost more than what you should be having in the first place. And yes, different people are going to have it's going to have different effects on their body, but I know from my personal experience, drinking energy drinks does not help with hydration. Caffeine can also be dehydrating. So since there is so much caffeine in an energy drinks are not a good go-to for hydrating. They have more negative effects than good effects. You might feel like you're feeling good, but in reality, you're going to end up feeling like really poor in the end. So to sum it all up, really, caffeine, you consume it, it automatically will affect your brain and your nervous system, and your brain and your nervous system sends it out to other areas of your body. Your heart rate going high being the biggest thing, that's going to affect your entire body as a whole.